Obscura Dramatica.
Is this what madness feels like?
Liberty, find Misty Young a room.
I was never a soldier. I'm a
think
woman.
we're full.
I'm sure there's something available on the fourth floor.
We know that you are not
Right up, don't
stolen an envelope, sir.
Mr.
Don't
Chandler,
play
it's got a
games.
room on the
We
front
will
desk.
stamp out every member of the Morgue.
You're trying to kill me. Your other friend did kill me. I'm a woman.
Liberty, find Misty Young a room.
How do you think we're full?
Right up, don't you
Very damn
You
well.
are not being paid for stolen an envelope, sir. Don't
How do
play
you know?
coy.
Have you ever been to the Palmer House, Mr. Young?
Is this what madness feels like?
Obscura Dramatica presents Borrowed Lives by David Bareford, starring Lauren Rogers as Elise.
Episode 4, Moments That Define Us.
Have you ever felt you were dreaming, but feared to wake because part of you wanted it to be real? I soak in a tub of beaten copper, luxuriating in the warm water available at the turn of a tap. I am alone, in a private bathing room, tiled in marble, and joined to a hotel room far more elegant than any place I have ever stayed. For the moment, the stress and fear of the last month have melted away, along with the awkwardness and nagging embarrassment of living for the last month in a man's body. I even feel like myself again, back in the form of a young woman, within a year or two of my real age, with lovely brown eyes and a mane of long dark hair. But it's not your body, Elise. This belongs to Penelope Bowman. It's not yours to use. And it wasn't Laura's either. I stand and step out of the tub, drying myself with a thick towel. I slip into a silk dressing gown, blotting my hair with a second towel as I cross back into the main room of my suite. My room in the Palmer House Hotel is the size of my mother's parlor, with a canopy bed and crystal gas lamps. Thick carpets welcome my feet. This is more luxury than I have ever... Yes?
Elise, it's Jesse.
Oh, I'm not dressed yet.
Of course not. I'm holding your clothes.
What? I quickly covered my dressing gown with a thick velvet robe. Jesse came in smiling, holding a stack of bundles wrapped in brown paper.
Good evening. I see you found the bath.
It was lovely.
Is the room to your liking?
Liking? I've never seen so much mahogany, velvet, all the gilding.
It is rather nice, isn't it?
And it's so high up.
6th floor.
I get dizzy just looking out the window.
But at least they have an elevator to avoid all those stairs.
That was a new experience, too. All of this is.
What? Why are you looking at me so strangely?
My mother would have a fit if she knew I followed a man I just met to a hotel. And she would die if she knew I let him into my room in this state of undress.
Yes, brazenly displaying your ankles like that. Shocking! Now, I brought you some things. One fact I know about borrowing a new envelope. It's deucedly hard to bring luggage with you. Go on, open them.
Oh, they're beautiful. But where did you find dresses so quickly? Will they fit?
They'll fit. There's a couple there for everyday wear and one for something nicer. For tonight. I suggest the brown silk. It brings out those lovely eyes.
He winked and I turned, so he couldn't see the blush start into my cheeks.
Those were some of Laura's fashions. She had them tailored just for this Penelope envelope. The hotel lets us store some things in their laundry. We would stay here at least once a month. There's an exquisite ballroom downstairs. Laura and I love to dance. We would waltz for hours.
Your Laura, is she dead?
We can't borrow the living, my dear. If Penelope was available for you, then Laura left her empty. I'm afraid her soul returned to the great cycle.
The cycle?
Birth, life, death, then rebirth. Again and again, endlessly through time.
You believe our souls are reborn?
Of course. It's a simple byproduct of temporal mathematics. The soul is eternal, the body is not. Ergo, where the body dies, the soul must go somewhere.
To heaven, wouldn't it? Or to the other.
Religion. What we tell each other to avoid the pain of seeing the meaninglessness of it all.
I don't believe that.
The universe doesn't seem to care what we believe. It all seems quite content to take up our freed souls, launder them of all memory, and shove them back inside the next infant in the womb. But fortunately, we of the broken hourglass have learned a shortcut to the great cycle, how to master it.
The borrowing ritual.
Exactly. We choose our envelope. We keep our memories, and frankly, we avoid living through childhood yet again. Ugh.
But I've never done the ritual, and I still...
You, my dear, are something special. Much more than a simple borrower.
Then what am I?
You, my dear, seem to be one of the awakened.
Awakened? What is that? And how do I keep changing envelopes without the ritual?
So many questions. Birth, death, souls, rituals. Who cares how it works? Just enjoy that it does.
Jesse, I need to know how...
I have a much more pressing question for you. Are you hungry?
Starving. In truth, I hadn't eaten all day, and for weeks before that I had subsisted on the most meager, bland asylum food. So when I was presented with a 5-course meal prepared by world-class chefs, I had to restrain myself from wolfing it down in the most unladylike manner imaginable. I ate until I thought I would burst, and there was still more left on my plate.
More wine, Mel?
I shouldn't.
Go on, live a little.
Maybe half a glass more.
And you've barely eaten half your steak. The cooks might be put out if they didn't see you finish. Didn't you like it?
Like it? It's divine. But I couldn't eat another bite.
Shall I take the dish then?
Leave it. She might get a second wind.
And sir, you are Orrin Wilkes, correct?
Yes?
Mrs. Palmer asked to see you briefly when you were finished dining. I can show you where her office is.
I know where to find her. Tell her I'll be there straight away.
Very good, sir. Let me know if you require anything else.
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Palmer? As in...
As in the hotel owner's wife? Yes.
You know her?
She's one of us. I've known Honoré for 50 years, long before she was Mrs. Palmer.
50 years?
Give or take.
You're that old?
Ouch! Mr. Young,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean...
No, I don't mind. And to answer your inevitable next question, I turned 72 this year. Born in 1799, originally. Laura was even older, 1760 for her. Remembered her father fighting the British.
Such things are hard to imagine.
You'll get used to it.
And Mrs. Palmer, is she as old as you?
Older. Honoré's the oldest among us, at least in Chicago. I'm not certain exactly how old she is. Even among borrowers, it's not polite to ask. But I do know she saw Louis XIV with her own eyes.
Why did she want to see you?
Well, I suspect it has something to do with you. I slipped a note to her when we arrived. As I said, you're something special. I'm sure she'll find a place for you.
Should I come with you then?
I shouldn't be long. Stay here, drink your wine, order dessert.
Oh, I couldn't.
As you like, but I must go. Wouldn't do to keep the head of the Broken Hourglass Society waiting.
My head was spinning, and not just from the wine. In the course of a day, I had gone from eating cold gruel for breakfast in an asylum for the insane to a lavish dinner with a handsome man in a gilded hotel at night. It seemed the more I learned about this new life, the less I knew. A whole society like me, borrowing lives and living forever. It was too much to take.
Laura, is that you?
A woman suddenly plopped into the seat across from me. She was about 30, with a plump figure but a sweet face, with fetching curls at her temples. She was looking at me most intently.
Laura?
No, I'm Elise. Penelope.
At least get your name straight.
I'm Penelope Bowman.
Of course you are.
And who are you, miss?
Stop the charade, Laura. I was there for your last borrowing. It's Charles Michael, and you know it.
Naturally. How have you been, Charles?
Ooh, that lovely fillet. Are you going to finish it?
Without even waiting for an answer, she lifted my plate over in front of her and began eating hungrily.
That's so good. High cuisine is the crowning achievement mankind has given the world. And Palmer spares no expense for his restaurants. Do you know he even lured a few chefs away from Delmonico's in New York? Oh, don't look at me like that. Yes, I've stretched this envelope out a bit. I always do. Gotten old, too. And now none of the boys want to play with me.
I think you look quite lovely.
Don't patronize me. You always look so young and fresh, but you're a 3 and I'm just a lowly 7. Well, 6, now that Chandler got pulverized. I know how it goes. I wait my turn and wait, growing older and fatter by the week. You're not drinking that wine, right?
Help yourself.
Blah! Why would you order a Cabernet with a Delmonico steak? Kills the flavors. Oh, too much tannin.
Jesse ordered it.
Where is the old man? Frankly shocked to see you dining alone. Oh, that's right. He has a ritual today. Heard about that. Getting that fancy lad with the blue eyes, isn't he?
It's a young and...
I saw that one. Passed. Done my share of lads. They get a bit boring. And anyway, I prefer the receiving. I'm sure you understand.
I am not as fond of the mail envelopes.
Right? But they're just so much easier to acquire. No one misses them. Always a longer wait for a girl. I've had my order in for ages. And then, of course, you get this lovely thing last spring. I've half a mind to smother you and take her.
If you touch me...
Oh, relax. I don't begrudge you. Who would have passed on Penelope?
She seems to fit me well.
I bet she'd fit some boys nicely, too. As I said, though, I don't begrudge you. It was your turn, your right to take or pass. No, the one who chaps my hide is Honoré. Have you seen her latest?
No. When did she,
About a month ago. Sweetest little thing. The most innocent face you ever saw. And she was mine. It was my turn. Then Honoré swoops in and claims the director's privilege. And she insists on remaining Bertha Palmer.
With a different body.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. She's endangering us all. She'd never allow any of us to be so careless.
And now you have to keep waiting for your next order?
Oh, I have a line on something. Something that'll make even you jealous. Mordaunt just got it in. He's holding it for me. That's why I came over. I need a 4th for the ritual tomorrow night, midnight.
Where?
New Eden, of course.
The New Eden Hotel? But Mr. Chandler...
I've taken over for Chandler. Next in seniority and all. Will you be there? I was there for you, Laura.
Yes. Yes, I'll come.
Many thanks. And you should have ordered dessert.
She left me then, with a table emptied of food and a mind filled with misgivings. Clearly not all borrowers were as kind as Jessie. I suppose that made sense, though. People are people, after all. Some are good and...
Elise!
Oh!
Elise, are you certain Mrs. Havens had a lodestone?
You're back. Did Mrs. Palmer...
Didn't want to talk about you after all. The lodestone is what concerned her. You said Mrs. Havens had it?
Well, I didn't see her with it. But she was with the man who killed me twice. Mr. Kingston, he had it. And then the one they called Marcus took it.
And at what distance can the stone detect a borrower?
I'm not sure. I was at least 20 feet away when it discovered Jacob Burrows. Why do you ask?
Because Honoré recently placed a friend of mine, John Prodigal, into that very group. He's in a brand new envelope they can't have seen before, but if they have a lodestone...
Who are they, those people?
They're called the Shears of Atropos, and they hate people like us. They try to exterminate us whenever they find us, like they killed Laura.
Why?
Ignorance, jealousy. They feel it's against nature to borrow envelopes, prolong one's life.
Then we should move to a different city. Get away from them.
Wouldn't help. Just like our society, the shears of Atropos have cells in a number of places. We've been fighting them for a century. But Elise, it gets worse.
Worse how?
Prodigal infiltrated the shears to collect information, to keep us all safe. And today he reported to Honore that Mrs. Havens found out that Penelope didn't stay dead. She knows Penny's still being used by a borrower, and the shears have made it their top priority to find her, to find you.
What do we do?
We get you something different to wear.
Shopping? Now? It must be after 8.
The store we're going to never closes, and the proprietor only works nights.
We left the hotel, and Jessie hailed a hansom cab. We headed south down State Street. I felt like such a country mouse, marveling at the tall buildings and noting how the wood block streets, Nicholson pavement as Jessie corrected me, was so much quieter than the cobblestone of my home back in Goshen. As we rode, he asked about my past, inquiring about my real body, my original, as he called it.
And you have no memory of how your original died?
None. I remember the train pulling into Central Depot on August 4th. I remember trying to find the hotel where my brother had been staying. And I remember meeting Mr. Chandler. And then, nothing.
You met Adam Chandler?
I never knew his Christian name.
Adam was a dear friend, but we lost him in a textile mill accident last month.
It wasn't an accident. I was there. I saw it. One of those shears of Atropos people, Mr. Kingston, pushed Mr. Chandler into the machine.
Those bastards! Adam was a good man. Created jobs for hundreds. You see, Elise? This is why. For years, this is why I've told the society we have to stamp out this Atropos cult. Because that's what it is. A cult. They're not simply superstitious or closed-minded. No. They're ruthless killers without a shred of decency. They won't stop until we put them in the ground.
Or they kill us.
That's not going to happen. I lost Laura and Adam, but I'm not going to lose you. That's why we're shopping.
But Mrs. Havens will still recognize Penelope, even in a new dress.
Not a new dress, my dear. A new envelope.
I have to change bodies again?
It's not a perfect plan, not with a lodestone on board, but it'll prevent easy detection. It's the best way to keep you safe.
Can't I just get my own body back? Get back to me?
I'm afraid whatever happened to your original, she's been disposed of.
What?
Once an envelope becomes available, a borrowing must happen within a day or two of death.
So I'm lost forever.
No. You've been freed, Elise. You've been made immortal. You get the chance to choose how to appear to the world. It's an incredible gift. Although I will say, I'll be sorry to see Penelope go. Laura waited nearly a year before she came along and only got to wear her a few months. I was lucky. My order was filled with Orrin Wilkes after only 3 weeks.
And these orders, they're filled by seniority?
You're catching on. All of this is highly regulated. Honestly, it's why the Broken Hourglass Society exists. There are procedures to follow, registrations to file, and some not insignificant fees to be paid. It's a business like any other, my dear.
What kind of envelope should I order?
First, you must understand, it's not like ordering a dress from a seamstress, is it?
I suppose not.
For all that we try to provide choices, finding a candidate for an envelope is rare. It must be intact, it must have emptied recently, and usually it must also satisfy human vanity.
Ugh, I don't understand.
Look at our envelopes, Elise. Do you find me attractive?
I know I blushed then, for Jesse, or his envelope Orrin, was quite handsome, with the merriest blue eyes and a perfect mustache that made one want to...
Do you?
Oh, yes.
I find you lovely as well. And this is no accident. The dream of immortality is not simply the state of not dying. It's the dream of living forever young and healthy, and ideally beautiful. You wouldn't want to spend decades living in the body of a wrinkled, toothless crone, would you?
If that was the form that God and time made of me,
If that was who I was...
Forget who you were. You can decide who you are, who you want to be. Once you understand the freedom of the gift, you'll feel only pity for those stuck in whatever quintessence of dust fortune gave them.
We traveled down to 18th Street, where we stopped on the side of the city hospital. There was a side entrance that looked more like a loading dock than anything meant for the public. Next to the two big barn-style doors was a smaller, plain wooden portal painted with a simple word in small white letters, morgue.
We're going in there?
Where do you think envelopes come from? An unfortunate but unavoidable fact of our existence is that we require bodies that are no longer in use.
We're going to steal a body?
Who said anything about stealing? They'll make us pay top dollar for a fine new envelope, I assure you.
But taking someone's corpse, isn't that illegal?
Technically, no. Robbery is taking something from a person. Kidnapping is the unlawful taking of a person. Taking a dead body, which is neither property nor a person, well, let's just say it's a gray area.
But what about the families? The loved ones of the envelope? Don't they object to our...
We try to avoid such entanglements. We look for orphans, strangers, those who've died with no known next of kin. But Elise, when we go in there, say little, and especially do not give your true name. After you.
We entered a small drab room lit by two feeble gas lamps. There were two doors on the far wall and a single desk in the center, behind which sat a man of perhaps 50, writing. He looked up as we entered, dark eyes flashing under a strong brow. The moment he made out Jessie in the gloom, his face creased in a scowl.
How dare you return so soon? There are staff here who would recognize you.
Mind your temper, sir. A word from me dropped in Honore's ear, and you...
What do you want?
What do you have in stock?
Don't be absurd. It was only yesterday you came in here with...
Not for me. For her.
Laura, I expect irrationality from him, but you? Yours cannot be 6 months old. What can you possibly find wrong with it?
It's been marked by Atropos.
Are you certain?
One of them tried to poison her. Did poison her, but she recovered. But they'll keep trying if they think she survived.
Very well. Fill out a requisition form and...
There's no time. The situation demands the utmost haste. Do you have anything or not?
A few. Come on.
Mr. Mordaunt led us through a door into a long hallway lined with dark windows on one side and a door at the end. It was cold in here, and the faint smell of harsh chemicals assaulted the nose.
Wait here. I'll go turn up the lamps.
Now be ready, Elise. When the lights come up, you'll see dead bodies behind the glass.
Oh, why are we doing this?
So you can choose your next envelope. Now, it must be someone who has died from a cause that leaves the body functional. It's no good to borrow a gunshot victim or a person who died of consumption, because those conditions would still persist. The best is suffocating from a gas leak or drowning or a poisoning that stops the heart but breaks down quickly.
Mordaunt lit the lamps in the adjacent room, and through the windows were revealed 6 stone tables, 4 of which held people, corpses, 3 men and a woman, all completely naked. I averted my eyes at first, but Jessie laid a hand on my arm, and slowly I looked back at the row of the dead before me.
Not a great deal of choice, whatever he says. Look, that chap there has half his head blown away.
Do I have to be a man again?
I must say, I'd vastly rather you weren't. Let's look at the woman more closely. No. She won't do it all. Look at her. I'm not saying that something so matronly wouldn't be a fair disguise, but her face... You want to look at that in the glass every morning? Mordaunt, this won't do it all. Mordaunt, get in here!
He is Mr. Mordaunt?
Yes.
Well,
what? You can't expect her to take one of those. Surely you have something else.
if you want selection, shop at Palmer and Fields. I'm limited to the unclaimed ones I get in. If you won't take one of these, Laura will just have to wait.
We'll come back later, love. Perhaps next week he'll...
No. Mordaunt, we know you have another envelope. You're not showing us.
We do?
I'm afraid I have no such
A
thing.
young woman. You're holding her for Charles Michael.
Well, as you point out, she's already spoken for.
Give her to me, and give him someone else. I have decades of seniority on Charles. I'm number 3. Charles is 6.
7.
6. Adam.
Oh, right. Adam, you really are catching on.
Charles Michael went through the proper channels, and he's been preempted once already. And you know him. He has specific requirements to satisfy his unique proclivities.
I don't give a damn about his proclivities. We want to see this woman. Is she fresh?
Christine.
Show us. He led us through the door at the end of the hall and into the long hall where the bodies lay. Here the smell of chemicals and decay was so strong I almost gagged, but I managed to keep my composure until we moved into the adjacent room. This area was smaller and set up like a laboratory, with cabinets and shelves filled with various instruments surrounding a central metal table. Mordaunt moved to a row of 4 drawers set into the wall. They looked like a cabinet one might file papers in, but strangely oversized. He pulled out a drawer, and on the surface revealed lay a young woman, perhaps 22 or 23, wearing only a cotton shift. Had we not been in a morgue, I might have supposed she was sleeping.
Beautiful.
As I said, however, this one is spoken for.
Jessie began to look her over, as one might examine a horse for sale, lifting her eyelids, checking her teeth, her fingernails.
Where did she come from?
Prodigal brought her in.
And she's clean.
As far as we know. Recently arrived from England. No known relatives in the area.
Laura?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think she will do nicely.
She is not available, as I've said multiple... Why do you insist on...
We'll pay double.
Charles Michael will complain vociferously.
Let him. Laura and I hold vastly higher priorities in the hourglass than Charles has ever.
As I stood there, listening to them argue, my breath came shallow and labored. Was this what I had come to? Haunting morgues and haggling over corpses? Was this to be my life now? The sight of the poor woman swam in my vision and the room began to spin.
Laura, are you all right?
I'm
Get her some smelling salts.
As Jessie supported my arm, Mordaunt waved a small canister under my nose. A strong odor of ammonia hit my nostrils. It felt like needles to my brain, shocking me back to sense.
Why, Laura, I would not have thought you capable of swooning around envelopes anymore.
I'm all right. Better now.
Give her some space, Mordaunt. Let's you and I adjourn to discuss the details and allow Laura some privacy to examine the girl more fully.
Very well. Step into the records room, that door there. Jessie, I do not appreciate...
They left me alone then, standing beside the woman in the drawer. She was lovely, with golden blonde hair, done up in what had once been a fashionable braided bun, but was now falling out quite frightfully. She was slender, yet her limbs seemed athletic and strong. I thought of Jessie's instructions to examine her more fully, and I blushed at the thought. How could I view her as something to be... What was that? There was a mark on the inside of her right wrist. I took her by the hand and lifted her forearm. There, about 3 inches above her palm, was a tiny tattoo, no more than 1 inch long, a pair of sheep shears, like for trimming wool. The same symbol I had seen on the ring of the man that killed me in the theater. Oh! I jumped back, glad that Jessie was not around to see. This woman was a member of the Shears of Atropos, and Jessie's friend Mr. Prodigal brought her in? Did he... kill her? I stepped close to the woman again and looked at her closely, but I could see no wound, no obvious cause of death. Her lips were not blue, as I had heard happened in suffocation. In fact, her skin was pink and rosy, as if in perfect health. I lifted her hand again, realizing that it was not stiff or cold, but as warm and pliant as my own, and then her fingers curled around mine. Oh, dear Lord! She wasn't dead at all! She was alive! Drugged, or somehow unconscious, but alive.
But a borrower couldn't use a living person as an envelope. The body must first be... They mean to kill her. They're keeping her alive to keep her fresh. I checked again, grasping her wrist. Yes, I could feel her pulse beneath my fingers. There was no doubt she still lived. What could I do? She was an Atropos agent, and if she were awake, likely she and her friends would try to kill me. Yet I couldn't be the cause of her murder, even if my own life was at risk. Who was I to say that my life was worth more than hers? There are moments that define us. Moments that people say reveal our inner self. But my mother never believed that. She said that our character is nothing more than the choices we make, and often we have to choose in an instant. Jessie and Mordaunt were still in the adjoining room. I reopened the canister of smelling salts and waved it under the woman's nose. 5 seconds passed. 10. Tears ran down my cheeks from the fumes. Suddenly, her eyes shot open, and her arms came up as if to ward me off, her expression a mix of terror and confusion.
If you're enjoying Borrowed Lives, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. And if you would, please take a moment to rate, review, and most importantly, to tell someone else about the show. It helps our work get heard by others, which helps us engage more artists and to create more content. And speaking of artists, Episode 4, Moments That Define Us, was directed by David Bareford, produced by Roger Bazaday and Fozzie Simon, and featured the voice talents of Lauren Rogers as Elise, Ryan Bond as Jesse, Amanda Caraway as Charles Michaels, John Viniilass as Mordaunt, and David Bareford as the waiter.
I'm Elise DeYoung, and you're in grave danger.
This has been a presentation of Obscura Dramatica.